Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Thread on or as if on a string. Thread dried cranberries. The connections that link the various parts of an event or argument together. He lost the thread of his argument. A fine cord of twisted fibers, of cotton or silk or wool or nylon, etc. Used in sewing and weaving. Any long object resembling a thin line. From the air the road was a gray thread. The raised helical rib going around a screw. To move or cause to move in a sinuous, spiral, or circular course. Pass a thread through. Thread a needle. Pass through or into. Thread tape. Remove facial hair by tying a fine string around it and pulling at the string. She had her eyebrows threaded. Thread on or as if on a string. Poker, in which a player can discard cards and receive substitutes from the dealer. He played only draw and stud. Remove the entrails of. Draw a chicken. Suck in or take air. Draw a deep breath. Pull. A person, apart with 4 horses tied to his extremities, so as to execute him. In the old days, people were drawn and quartered for certain crimes. Give a description of. Anything, straws or pebbles, etc. Taken or chosen at random. The luck of the draw. Finish a game with an equal number of points, goals, etc. Make a mark or lines on a surface. Draw a line. Get or derive. Pass over, across, or through. An entertainer who attracts large audiences. He was the biggest drawing card they had. Direct toward itself or oneself by means of some psychological power or physical attributes. A golf shot that curves to the left for a right-handed golfer. Bring, take, or pull out of a container or from under a cover. Draw a weapon. Earn or achieve a base by being walked by the pitcher. Make, formulate, or derive in the mind. I draw a line here. The finish of a contest in which the score is tied and the winner is undecided. The game ended in a draw. Take in, also metaphorically. Stretch back a bowstring, on an archer's bow. The archers were drawing their bows. The act of drawing or hauling something. American football. The quarterback moves back as if to pass and then hands the ball to the fullback who is running toward the line of scrimmage. Choose at random. Draw a card. Remove, a commodity, from, a supply source. Cause to move in a certain direction by exerting a force upon, either physically or in an abstract sense. Cause to move by pulling. Draw a wagon. Take liquid out of a container or well. A gully that is shallower than a ravine. Allow a draft. This chimney draws very well. A playing card or cards dealt or taken from the pack. He got a pair of kings in the draw. Bring or lead someone to a certain action or condition. She was drawn to despair. Cause to flow. Cause to localize at one point. Contract. Elicit responses, such as objections, criticism, applause, etc. Engage in drawing. He spent the day drawing in the garden. Flatten, stretch, or mold metal or glass, by rolling or by pulling it through a die or by stretching. Draw steel. Move or go steadily or gradually. Move or pull so as to cover or uncover something. Draw the shades. Reduce the diameter of a wire or metal rod by pulling it through a die. Draw wire. Represent by making a drawing of, as with a pencil, chalk, etc. on a surface. Require a specified depth for floating. This boat draws 70 inches. Select or take in from a given group or region. The participants in the experiment were drawn from a representative population. Steep. Pass through a strainer. Draw pulp from the fruit. Write a legal document or paper. The deed was drawn in the lawyer's office. Thread on or as if on a string. String pearls on a string. Add as if on a string. String these ideas together. A sequentially ordered set of things or events or ideas in which each successive member is related to the preceding. A string of islands. A tie consisting of a cord that goes through a seam around an opening. He pulled the drawstring and closed the bag. Move or come along. A necklace made by stringing objects together. A string of beads. A lightweight cord. Cosmology. A hypothetical one-dimensional subatomic particle having a concentration of energy and the dynamic properties of a flexible loop. Stringed instruments that are played with a bow. The strings played superlatively well. A collection of objects threaded on a single strand. A linear sequence, as of characters, words, proteins, etc. A tightly stretched cord of wire or gut, as a part of an instrument or a tennis racket. A tough piece of fiber in vegetables, meat, or other food, especially the tough fibers connecting the two halves of a bean pod. Provide with strings. String my guitar. Remove the stringy parts of. String beans. Stretch out or arrange like a string. String together. Tie or fasten with a string. String the package. The connections that link the various parts of an event or argument together. I couldn't follow his train of thought. A fine cord of twisted fibers, of cotton or silk or wool or nylon, etc. Used in sewing and weaving. The act of giving an account describing incidents or a course of events. Tell or spin a yarn. An award for winning a championship or commemorating some other event. Any long object resembling a thin line. A mere ribbon of land. A long strip of inked material for making characters on paper with a typewriter. Notion consisting of a narrow strip of fine material used for trimming. The raised helical rib going around a screw. An aimless amble on a winding course. To move or cause to move in a sinuous, spiral, or circular course. The path meanders through the vineyards. A bend or curve, as in a stream or river. Move about aimlessly or without any destination, often in search of food or employment. The wandering Jew. To move or cause to move in a sinuous, spiral, or circular course. Sometimes, the gout wanders through the entire body. Be sexually unfaithful to one's partner in marriage. Might her husband be wandering? Lose clarity or turn aside, especially from the main subject of attention or course of argument in writing, thinking, or speaking. Her mind wanders. Go via an indirect route or at no set pace. After dinner, we wandered into town. Interlace by or as if by weaving. Create a piece of cloth by interlacing strands of fabric, such as wool or cotton. Sway from side to side. To move or cause to move in a sinuous, spiral, or circular course. Pattern of weaving or structure of a fabric. Raise or haul up with or as if with mechanical help. Catch the scent of. Get wind of. A reflex that expels intestinal gas through the anus. Form into a wreath. Empty rhetoric or insincere or exaggerated talk. That's a lot of wind. Arrange or coil around. To move or cause to move in a sinuous, spiral, or circular course. The river winds through the hills. Extend in curves and turns. The road winds around the lake. The act of winding or twisting. He put the key in the old clock and gave it a good wind. A musical instrument in which the sound is produced by an enclosed column of air that is moved by bellows or the human breath. Air moving, sometimes with considerable force, from an area of high pressure to an area of low pressure. Trees bent under the fierce winds. Coil the spring of some mechanical device by turning a stem. Wind your watch. An indication of potential opportunity. A tendency or force that influences events. The winds of change. Breath. The collision knocked the wind out of him. Plan, organize, and carry out an event. Put into a proper or systematic order. Arrange the books on the shelves in chronological order. Set, printed matter, into a specific format. Arrange thoughts, ideas, temporal events. Arrange my schedule. Adapt for performance in a different way. Arrange attractively. Make arrangements for. Can you arrange a meeting with the president? Get ready for a particular purpose or event. Set up an experiment. Produce. The scientists set up a shock wave. Arrange the outcome of by means of deceit. Make ready or suitable or equip in advance for a particular purpose or for some use, event, etc. Put into a proper or systematic order. Equip with sails or masts. Take or catch as if in a snare or trap. I was set up. Set up for use. Erect and fasten. Arrange thoughts, ideas, temporal events. Set up one's life. Place. Construct, build, or erect. Create by putting components or members together. They set up a committee. Set up or found. She set up a literacy program. begin, or enable someone else to begin a venture by providing the means, logistics, etc. Set up an election. Endowed with the capacity to reason. The process of using your mind to consider something carefully. Thinking always made him frown. A personal belief or judgment that is not founded on proof or certainty. What are your thoughts on Haiti? The content of cognition, the main thing you are thinking about. The thought never entered my mind. The process of using your mind to consider something carefully. She paused for thought. The organized beliefs of a period or group or individual. 19th century thought. The process of using your mind to consider something carefully. The process of using your mind to consider something carefully. The process of using your mind to consider something carefully. The process of using your mind to consider something carefully. A cut pile fabric with vertical ribs, usually made of cotton. A light insulated conductor for household use. A line made of twisted fibers or threads. The bundle was tied with a cord. A unit of amount of wood cut for burning, 128 cubic feet. Bind or tie with a cord. Stack in cords. Cord firewood. A tangible and visible entity. An entity that can cast a shadow. The goal intended to be attained, and which is believed to be attainable. The sole object of her trip was to see her children. A tangible and visible entity. An entity that can cast a shadow. It was full of rackets, balls and other objects. Be averse to or express disapproval of. My wife objects to modern furniture. Computing. A discrete item that provides a description of virtually anything known to a computer. In object-oriented programming, objects include data and define its status, its methods of operation and how it interacts with other objects. Express or raise an objection or protest or criticism or express dissent. She never objected to the amount of work her boss charged her with. Grammar. A constituent that is acted upon. The object of the verb. The focus of cognitions or feelings. Objects of thought. Subject to laughter or ridicule. Any of the 12 pairs of curved arches of bone extending from the spine to or toward the sternum in humans, and similar bones in most vertebrates. A projecting molding on the underside of a vault or ceiling, may be ornamental or structural. A rib-like supporting or strengthening part of an animal or plant. A teasing remark. Cut of meat including one or more ribs. Form vertical ribs by knitting. A ribbed sweater. Support resembling the rib of an animal. Follow a certain course. How did your interview go? Have a particular form. As the saying goes. Move away from a place into another direction. Perform as expected when applied. The washing machine won't go unless it's plugged in. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. How fast does your new car go? Be in the right place or situation. Let's put healthcare where it belongs, under the control of the government. A usually brief attempt. A board game for two players who place counters on a grid. The object is to surround and so capture the opponent's counters. Pass from physical life and lose all bodily attributes and functions necessary to sustain life. Make a certain noise or sound. Lead, extend, or afford access. This door goes to the basement. Street names for methylenedioxymethamphetamine. Continue to live and avoid dying. Begin or set in motion. Ready, set, go. Stop operating or functioning. To be spent or finished. The money had gone after a few days. A time period for working, after which you will be relieved by someone else. It's my go. Blend or harmonize. This sofa won't go with the chairs. Go through in search of something. Search through someone's belongings in an unauthorized way. Enter or assume a certain state or condition. Get going. Have a turn. Make one's move in a game. Can I go now? Give support to, or make a choice of, one out of a group or number. Stretch out over a distance, space, time, or scope. Run or extend between 2 points or beyond a certain point. His knowledge doesn't go very far. Follow a procedure or take a course. We should go farther in this matter. Be the right size or shape. Fit correctly or as desired. Progress by being changed. The speech has to go through several more drafts. Be abolished or discarded. These ugly billboards have to go. Be or continue to be in a certain condition. Be ranked or compare. This violinist is as good as Juilliard-trained violinists go. Be spent. Functioning correctly and ready for action. All systems are go. Pass, fair, or elapse, of a certain state of affairs or action. How is it going? Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. Give an incentive for action. This moved me to sacrifice my career. Be in a state of action. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. The soldiers moved towards the city in an attempt to take it before night fell. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. Cause to move or shift into a new position or place, both in a concrete and in an abstract sense. The director moved more responsibilities onto his new assistant. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. We must move quickly. The act of changing your residence or place of business. They say that 3 moves equal 1 fire. Have a turn. Make one's move in a game. Have an emotional or cognitive impact upon. Follow a procedure or take a course. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. Progress by being changed. Propose formally, in a debate or parliamentary meeting. Arouse sympathy or compassion in. Her fate moved us all. Change residence, affiliation, or place of employment. We moved from Idaho to Nebraska. Dispose of by selling. The chairman of the company told the salesman to move the computers. Game. A player's turn to take some action permitted by the rules of the game. Go or proceed from one point to another. The debate moved from family values to the economy. Live one's life in a specified environment. She moves in certain circles only. Move so as to change position, perform a non-translational motion. He moved his hand slightly to the right. The act of deciding to do something. He didn't make a move to help. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. We traveled from Rome to Naples by bus. Travel upon or across. Travel the oceans. Undertake a journey or trip. A movement through space that changes the location of something. Self-propelled movement. Make a trip for pleasure. The act of going from one place to another. He enjoyed selling but he hated the travel. Travel from place to place, as for the purpose of finding work, preaching, or acting as a judge. Undergo transportation as in a vehicle. We traveled north on Route 508. Use as a guide. They had the lights to guide on. Be a guiding or motivating force or drive. Take somebody somewhere. Something that offers basic information or instruction. Someone employed to conduct others. Someone who can find paths through unexplored territory. Pass over, across, or through. A model or standard for making comparisons. Direct the course. Determine the direction of traveling. A structure or marking that serves to direct the motion or positioning of something. Someone who shows the way by leading or advising. Move past. A black limousine passed by when she looked out the window. Eliminate from the body. Grant authorization or clearance for. A usually brief attempt. Success in satisfying a test or requirement. His future depended on his passing that test. Come to pass. Of advancing the ball by throwing it. A team with a good passing attack. Pass from physical life and lose all bodily attributes and functions necessary to sustain life. A document indicating permission to do something without restrictions. The media representatives had special passes. Cause to pass. She passed around the plates. Be superior or better than some standard. Transmit information. Pass along the good news. Go unchallenged. Be approved. Pass over, across, or through. Place into the hands or custody of. Sports. The act of throwing the ball to another member of your team. The pass was fumbled. Pass into a specified state or condition. Make laws, bills, etc. or bring into effect by legislation. They passed the amendment. A difficult juncture. A pretty pass. Stretch out over a distance, space, time, or scope. Run or extend between 2 points or beyond a certain point. A permit to enter or leave a military installation. He had to show his pass in order to get out. Pass by. A bad or difficult situation or state of affairs. Travel past. The sports car passed all the trucks. Disappear gradually. The pain eventually passed off. American football. A play that involves one player throwing the ball to a teammate. The coach sent in a passing play on 3rd and long. Baseball. An advance to first base by a batter who receives 4 balls. The location in a range of mountains of a geological formation that is lower than the surrounding peaks. We got through the pass before it started to snow. An automatic advance to the next round in a tournament without playing an opponent. Go successfully through a test or a selection process. She passed the New Jersey bar exam and can practice law now. Be inherited by. Use up a period of time in a specific way. Any authorization to pass or go somewhere. The pass to visit had a strict time limit. Accept or judge as acceptable. The teacher passed the student although he was weak. A complimentary ticket. The star got passes for his family. A flight or run by an aircraft over a target. The plane turned to make a second pass. Allow to go without comment or censure. The insult passed as if unnoticed. Go across or through. We passed the point where the police car had parked. Military. A written leave of absence. He had a pass for 3 days. One complete cycle of operations, as by a computer. It was not possible to complete the computation in a single pass. Throw. A ball, to another player. Smith passed. Transfer to another, of rights or property. Our house passed under his official control. A small stream. Have a particular form. The story or argument runs as follows. Perform as expected when applied. Does this old car still run well? Compete in a race. He is running the marathon this year. Become undone. A row of unraveled stitches. She got a run in her stocking. A score in baseball made by a runner touching all 4 bases safely. The Yankees scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th. Run, stand, or compete for an office or a position. Who's running for treasurer this year? Come unraveled or undone as if by snagging. Her nylons were running. Direct or control. Projects, businesses, etc. She is running a relief operation in the Sudan. Extend or continue for a certain period of time. The film runs 5 hours. A race between candidates for elective office. He is raising money for a Senate run. Include as the content, broadcast or publicize. Pass over, across, or through. The act of testing something. Travel a route regularly. Carry out a process or program, as on a computer or a machine. Run a new program on the Mac. Flee. Take to one's heels, cut and run. If you see this man, run. Cause something to pass or lead somewhere. Have a tendency or disposition to do or be something, be inclined. These dresses run small. Stretch out over a distance, space, time, or scope. Run or extend between 2 points or beyond a certain point. Service runs all the way to Cranberry. The act of running, traveling on foot at a fast pace. He broke into a run. Cause to emit recorded audio or video. Keep company. The heifers run with the bulls to produce offspring. Change or be different within limits. Interest rates run from 5 to 10%. Deal in illegally, such as arms or liquor. Continue to exist. A race run on foot. She broke the record for the half-mile run. An unbroken series of events. Nicholas had a run of birdies. Reduce or cause to be reduced from a solid to a liquid state, usually by heating. The pouring forth of a fluid. American football. A play in which a player attempts to carry the ball through or past the opposing team. The defensive line braced to stop the run. Be diffused. These dyes and colors are guaranteed not to run. Move along, of liquids. Progress by being changed. Run through your presentation before the meeting. Pursue for food or sport, as of wild animals. The dogs are running deer. An unbroken chronological sequence. The play had a long run on Broadway. A regular trip. The ship made its run in record time. A short trip. Take a run into town. Be affected by, be subjected to. Run at temperature. Be operating, running or functioning. The car is still running, turn it off. Carry out. Run an errand. Cause an animal to move fast. Run the dogs. Cause to perform. Run a subject. Change from one state to another. Run amok. Cover by running. Run a certain distance. Make without a miss. Move about freely and without restraint, or act as if running around in an uncontrolled way. Who are these people running around in the building? Move fast by using one's feet, with 1 foot off the ground at any given time. Don't run, you'll be out of breath. Occur persistently. Musical talent runs in the family. Run with the ball, in such sports as football. Sail before the wind. Set animals loose to graze. The continuous period of time during which something, a machine or a factory, operates or continues in operation. The assembly line was on a 12-hour run. The production achieved during a continuous period of operation, of a machine or factory, etc. A daily run of 100,000 gallons of paint. Travel rapidly, by any, unspecified, means. She always runs to Italy, because she has a lover there. Unrestricted freedom to use. He has the run of the house. Obtain from a substance, as by mechanical action. Take out of a literary work in order to cite or copy. A passage selected from a larger work. A solution obtained by steeping or soaking a substance, usually in water. Remove, usually with some force or effort, also used in an abstract sense. Extract a bad tooth. Deduce, a principle, or construe, a meaning. Extract by the process of distillation. Calculate the root of a number. Get despite difficulties or obstacles. I extracted a promise from the dean for 2 new positions. Separate, a metal, from an ore.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.